Hello there, orchestra. Welcome back. Today we're looking at number 337 and 338 on page 29 in your books. So let's start with 337 on three-tied mice. Three-tied mice, we're pretty much just doing half notes. Remember that ties are little curved lines that connect one note of the same pitch to another note of the same pitch. So, for example, measure 1 of 337, we have an F sharp with a tie going to another F sharp. That means that you're going to play both of those pitches in one bow direction for 2 beats, much like a half note. And that's how ties work. They're both the same pitch. They're both going to be the same direction. And so they're both going to be bowed in one long movement without détaché. So that second F sharp is not going to be an up bow. It'll still be a down bow, but you're not stopping the bow during that tie. And that's why essentially for this case, this tie makes this a half note F sharp rather than just 2 quarter note F sharps. Okay. You also notice that the next beat after that second F sharp is a up bow D, and then we go to F sharp, another tie, the same thing we did earlier on measure 1, then another half note D up bow. Then we'll play détaché quarter notes D, D, E, E, and then we'll have another F sharp tied to another F sharp down bow, like a half note, and then an up bow D a half note. So let's see what this sounds like and looks like on the viola first, okay? Now, hopefully before you started this video, you've already tuned your instrument, and this is going to be the same melody fingering as you would have for the viola and violin both together. So this is number 337. We're going to set it at 60 beats per minute, and this is how it should be played, okay? Again, ties are just the same pitch, bowed in the same direction, without going back and forth until you get to the next note that doesn't have a curved line connecting it. So here is 337. Play along with me if you can. Start with F sharp, that's 2 fingers on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be simple, really simple, easy recording for you. Let's see what it sounds like on the cello. All right, again, making sure that your instrument is in tune. We're going to try it now on the cello. All right, get the metronome started. I'm going to start on F sharp. That's 3 fingers on the D string. Let me scoot back a little bit so you can see all of me, or at least most of me. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. It's super easy, whether you're doing it on the violin, viola, or cello. So this one should be an easy recording. Give it a go and make sure that you are counting yourself off 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're in 4/4 time. I've noticed some people are counting themselves off 1, 2, 3, 4, no matter what the time signature tells us. But this one particularly is 4/4 time. So yes, you count yourself off 1, 2, 3, 4. But also make sure that right after 4, you start playing and you play the same speed that you counted off at. Okay, we'll talk about that at the end of number 338 that we're going to look at next. So now we're looking at number 338, 3 gliding mice. 3 gliding mice is the same concept, all right? We have F sharp now slurred to E, all right? That's going to be one bow direction, just like you would a tie. But in this case, you're going to rhythmically move your finger up or fingers up to play E while you're still bowing in that one direction. Here's what I mean. I'm going to play measure 1 for you. We should have F sharp, E, D. In other words, if you're air bowing, F sharp, E, D. Both the first 2 pitches were in the first direction we started with, which is a down bow. But I have to move my finger up and out of the way rhythmically on to the next quarter note without moving my bow the opposite direction. So this can be a little bit tricky because you're very used to playing détaché back and forth for each pitch. Now you got to do a slur where you bow 2 pitches with one bow direction, and they're different. So you have to move your fingers in that rhythm rather than the bow. Okay. So here's measure 1, E, F sharp, E, D, and what it should sound like. Just measure 1. And of course, measure 2 and the last measure are going to be the same thing. So this could be a pretty good practice for you. Make sure you use a metronome when you're tapping your toe and you don't slow down, all right? Look at my middle finger on the violin or viola, whatever it is. This one's a violin, and how I move it rhythmically from F sharp to E. Remember, don't play like this when your body tilted forward. This is just me to demonstrate for you on the camera, and you can see a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it is again. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I moved my finger on the next beat so I can play the E right on the next beat like it's supposed to, because they're 2 quarter notes. So the first one only gets 1 beat, and the second one also only gets 1 beat, but I have to change pitches. So again, this one can be a bit tricky if you can't get that slur thing down, but for most, it's pretty easy. With that being said, here's what number 338 should sound like for your recording. Get my metronome set at 60 beats per minute. I'm going to sit up this time like you're supposed to, and make sure, notice how my whole body for the violin viola recordings is always in frame, so I can see the bow movement, I can see the hand movement, and how your posture, how you're sitting in your chair, hopefully in your chair, not on your bed or on the floor. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's it. Now, what I was talking about before we get to the cello and how it's supposed to sound like, when you guys count off, notice how I counted off with the metronome at this tempo. Because that's the tempo I want to perform at, I'm also going to count off the same speed. And then I'm going to make sure that I start on the following beat. So I count off 1, 2, 3, 4, and then beat 1. What I've been noticing is some of you are getting a little bit laxed. What I need you to do, and these are the steps to counting off, so that way you can prepare yourself. Even when you rehearse by yourself, you get even better, all right? This is not just for the recordings. This is for you to be a better musician, all overall. So before I even count, I'm already in playing position with my bow on the string, all right? And my fingers in for the first note. You have to be already there. Some of you count off right after you hit the record button, and then as you're counting off, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're about 3 beats late of the tempo you just gave me. So I can't tell what speed you're actually going off of, whether it's your own that you just decided at the moment or the one you counted from when you gave me the count off. So the count off is important because that gives me the speed or the tempo of which you're playing at, okay? So here's another example of 338, but now with the cello. All right, so here it is on the cello. Again, I'm going to scoot back. Actually, I'm going to tilt this down a little bit more than my last recording on the cello, so you can see more of my bow movement. See my all my upper body. I can see the posture in the video. Make sure you guys are doing the same thing in your recordings and not just from the hands up or from the top of the instrument up. I want to see all of this if you can. All right. Find a way for yourself, and if you need help to get ideas, let me know. Okay. Here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if I was to do it without a metronome, all right, I can still count off the same speed I will play this at. 1, 2, tapping your toe, 3, 4. So you notice that maybe my tempo wasn't always the best while I was playing, but I didn't dramatically slow down and I didn't dramatically speed up, all right? Generally in the same speed that I started off at, and I made sure I started right on beat 1, not just generally whenever I felt like playing after I get the count off. So practice those things when you guys are rehearsing, especially now that you're getting to the more difficult stuff, so you can really feel the tempo and the beat, all right? Good luck on your recordings, and I can't wait to see them.